to the August All About the Mouse. So this month's inspiration is, as you can see, a graphic kind of Mickey Mouse, but it's also got some browns and some grunge. So I found this photo play, Tula and Norbert's Magical Vacation that I've had for a while. And if you'll notice, it has that khaki or that brown background. It's got um, this black with bows. It's got this black kind of solid with a tone on tone print. It's got some stripes and kind of that more deep set colors. So I think I'm going to use this to kind of have that color feel, that color palette. And that's what I'm going to take inspiration from this graphic. It also does have the kind of classic Mickey Mouse font in that capitals. I'm going to see if I can find those letters somewhere, either graphically and cut them out with my Cricut, or if I have a stamp, we'll figure out what we've got from there. But really like that. But basically, what I'm taking from it is the color palette, having that khaki, that grungy background, and that's where I'm going. Oh, and I'm scrapbooking a picture of a get together from a local YouTube. YouTube is Ear Scouts, and they had a get together in the park, and John and I were able to go. So this is a photo from that day. So wanted to scrapbook that. So hang out with me while I show you how I interpret this prompt. Thanks. Okay. So this came together very quickly. I basically used this paper and kind of let it guide me. The first thing I did was cut the branding strip off of the black on black polka dot, and I ended up really liking that. And then I used the big strip. I had one big strip of that tan paper. And then I decided that I would just make it a horizontal striped paper kind of layout. So I took one of the other strips from the paper that had the strips. I'm going to use the one that had the khaki because I'm trying to just make sure I keep that khaki. And then also use one that had balloons because I did like the balloons and I thought that kind of went with the grunge because it has the Mickey print on it, like is in the prompt paper or the prompt picture. So this is going to be the base. And now I wanted a little bit of break between the khaki. So I'm going to take this red, deep red. So it's not the classic Mickey Mouse red, right? It's more, I want to say maroon, but it's not quite a maroon paper. And that's, kind of what I'm doing. I think this is a fun way to look at this because I am not doing a strictly, prompt scrap lift or something of this, but I'm taking inspiration from the colors. So if you were trying to utilize this prompt and you didn't have Disney, you could also take inspiration from the colors. So think about that. Think about the fact that you could take inspiration from the kind of khaki and the deep reds and the whites and the yellows. And you could do a grunge page, maybe a black and khaki or black and kind of craft cardstock page with some white impacts on it. I think that would really kind of cover the gist of scrap lifting, I will say, or utilizing this prompt as your starting point. And that's basically what I did. So you're seeing me here kind of have to change out my tape roll. This is kind of good because you're going to see the solution I finally came to, which is those green shims. I ended up cutting some circles out of a cardstock and having two of them, and then I put those on top of to shim my tape in. That has been a godsend, and I think it has kind of saved the day because, like I said before, the backup tape runner I had stopped working, so I really need this tape runner to work because it is my favorite tape runner in the whole wide world. I have found on eBay that you can get this tape runner like used or old for like hundreds of dollars. I'm not beyond that at this point. Anyway, I did want to go ahead and matte this photo, and I liked the blue and I wanted to bring that pop of blue, but the sky was blue. So I decided to matte the photo on black first and then put it on the blue, and that makes a big difference. So if you have a color that you want to use like I did here, and blue, and the blue is really just enough off or just a little too close of the color in the photo, don't forget that you can do either a white or a black matte, and it really does just fix a lot of those issues. So I did a black matte around the photo, and then now what we've got is kind of, and it also kind of matches, because if you'll notice, the Mickey Mouse in that is framed in the black also. It's kind of outlined in black. So I put that there, and now I'm going to try to find some embellishments. This was a little bit more difficult. I have a lot of embellishments but they are all, and I start with like, say, cheese. I think that'll be fun, and I have magical moment, but they are just too bright. And I have them all here, and I'm happy with them, and I've got that M that's the right kind of font, and I'm digging it. And then I look and I realize it's too red, it's too yellow, it's not matching the colors. So I go to the sticker sheet, and that's what I have in my hand, and I realize those stickers are just better color match. And they have in the right font the word smile, which can be a banner, which can be my title. So that's what I end up doing for a title, is the word smile. And because I used such a busy gnome paper, there's not a lot of embellishing that I need to do on this, and I don't necessarily need to over embellish it. So I think that's what I end up deciding is, as I'm looking at this, and thankfully those stickers came up. Probably the fact that it was so old helped me in this particular situation. But I just decided I didn't want to do too much. So I ended up taking all of the die cuts off that I thought I was going to use, including the Say cheese. And I look at this and decide this was fun, but it's in the right red. This has the brown, a day like no other. I have this red, look who we met, which I know is supposed to be for like character meetings, but that was appropriate for what we had. And I'm still not happy with the Say cheese, so I'm end up not going to use that. I want something down in the bottom right, so I find another word sticker. And that says, feel the magic. So I have this last little gnome that has all the balloons, and this is the base of my page. So the last thing that I want to do here is do some splatters on this, because that would match. You'll notice the splatters that are all over the prompt. And I want to have red and blue and yellow and white. And unfortunately, I also need it to be distress oxide, because the oxide will stand up to the deep color. So it'll actually show up on the black paper. And I don't have a red or a blue in oxide. I only have just the Nouveau drops and those kinds of things. So I have the yellow, I have mustard seed, and I have white picket fence in distress. So those are going to work. And then I'm going to just use an old red I had, and I'm going to sprinkle it other places. I think when you look at the final product, you'll see you don't see the red that much. It's probably okay, but I did try to have some red. The funniest part about this is I'm looking, there's actually red on my monitor, because apparently I didn't get it on the page, but I did get it on my computer screen. So that's funny. But the white and the yellow really show up well. So I think that's something to remember when you're doing splatters, that if you have the distress, it really does help to stand up to some of the deeper colors like the black. And particularly if you want to have a look like we do here with this particular prompt page, it worked really well for me to have the red or the yellow and the white in the distress. So anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm going to come off of a mute in a second here and talk you through the final page. But with that, I will turn you over to my past self talking about the page. I really enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, so I think I'm done. So it worked out that they had Smile in the font that I was looking for. And then to kind of complete the look, I used the splatters. Now, I don't have a distress in red, which is really what I need to make it pop on the black. Um, so that's the only thing that I'm a little upset about is I don't have a oxide that would then allow that red to pop like the white and the yellow pop. I've got like a peach and I've got a green, but I don't have a red. So I did some red in the other spots, with which kind of is showing up, but that's the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in. But otherwise, it's a lot of fun. Basically, this photo play collection, Tula Norbert's Magical Day, and I don't know if it's still available. It's a pretty old collection, but it really did the catch the vibe of the paper or of the prompt that we were doing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I will see you next time, next month when we do another All About the Mouse. Here's a close up. See you next time.